Hey lambs, welcome to True Crime Tuesday. I know I'm a bit late with this because they usually go out at noon. However, I was really affected and kind of derailed by the Amora Bain Carson case. If you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to this Sunday's episode. That was a really tough episode for me to record, and it still affected me. So this is why I'm late today, so I do apologize for my lateness. However, let's get into Tuesday's true crime. An 18-year-old man has been convicted of the brutal murder of a couple who responded to his ad to buy a car. This incident ended up leaving 5 children orphaned. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs in Patreon, patreon.com/loveandmurder. If you want to be a sponsor of Lamb, which helps me bring you better episodes, more episodes, possibly new segments, then head on over to patreon.com/loveandmurder. Not only do you help Lamb, but you also get extra bonuses. In the summer of 2020, Joseph Rowland, then 39, and Jocelyn Rowland, then 40, who were the parents of 5 children, 17, 12, 10, 8, and 4 at this time, were in search of a used car. Joseph, at that time, flipped cars and was an operations manager at ABM Industries. So basically, this is part of what he did on the side. They came across an online listing on the Let Go app for a 2017 Toyota RAV4 that seemed like an excellent fit for him to go ahead and fix up, clean up, and flip it. The couple arranged to meet the seller, who went by the names of James Worthy, at the Southlands Mall in Aurora, Colorado. Unbeknownst to them, the man they were actually about to meet was Kyree Brown, who was an 18-year-old who had just stolen the car days ago. As Joseph and Jocelyn arrived and inspected the car, they noticed a discrepancy with the title. When they raised this concern with Brown, he pulled a gun on them and demanded the cash that they had. Brown then fired 5 shots, fatally wounding both Joseph and Jocelyn. Unfortunately, the couple passed away within 5 minutes of each other. Brown then got away with about $3,000, dropped the car near Havana Street and East Colfax Avenue in Aurora, and set it on fire, although it didn't really burn. Police received 911 calls about gunshots fired in the area, and so when they got there, they found the scene and they didn't find any suspects. Detectives then began piecing together the evidence, starting with the initial Let Go ad. The original ad was listed by, quote, James Worthy, as I said before, but had been deleted. But the same car, which was currently in police impound, had been listed under the name Jessica Harlan. So Brown had used a fake name to list the stolen vehicle, but he'd used his own email address. Because what do we always tell you? Make sure you have as much evidence on your person, around your person, linking to your person, and go everywhere and anywhere you could think about and tell everybody what you're planning on doing. Don't forget to take pictures, many pictures, and make sure the date is on those pictures with possibly the evidence in hand. So with that email address, they found Brown's phone number and his social media. They saw that, oh my God, what did I say? Make sure you take a lot of pictures. They saw that on the social media, he'd taken selfies with himself, holding a bunch of dollar bills, y'all, $100 bills, which they assumed was from the robbery. They were also able to use his phone number to track his phone. I'm staring stupidly into the fake camera right now. On August 27th, 2020, he was arrested after a brief police chase. Basically, what happened is police found him by tracking his phone. He was at between some apartments and a mall. He was in the passenger side of his friend's car, like a scrub. And his friend saw police coming and his friend started running. So they had to chase his friend, I guess. I don't know. When they caught him, he admitted that he'd stolen the car and tried to sell it on Let Go. He then told his series of events, which was that he told Joseph that he'd brought the wrong title, and then he had the couple accompany him across town to supposedly get the correct title. There, he pulled a gun on them and asked them for the money they had. According to him, Joseph then grabbed him by the arm, and then the car started to move. This scared him, and that's when he fired, but he only shot Jocelyn accidentally. So he has no idea how Joseph got shot and how 5 shots went off and all of that stuff. After he shot them, he figured, why not get the money, took the money, ran, took selfies, and did all this stuff, and then reposted the ad. And to me, that's kind of cause to believe that he was about to do this again. So to say this was an accident and then you listed the same car again because the first time you got $3,000 off of it and shot 2 people, this doesn't sound like an accident to me, but that's just me. In the meantime, while this is going on, the couple's family and friends came together to support the 5 children because the oldest one at this time is only 17. So they started a GoFundMe campaign to try and help provide financial security and emotional support for the children. Quote, Joe and Jocelyn were fun, kind, and generous people. They were always the first to help, and their door was open to friends and family. We want to ensure that their children are taken care of, although no amount of money can replace the love and guidance of their parents. So, after more than 2 years of legal proceedings, jury deliberations started on the afternoon of Tuesday, August 30th, 2022, and a verdict came back on Wednesday morning. Kyree Brown, who is now 20, was found guilty of 12 of the 13 charges, including 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated robbery, arson, and motor vehicle theft. The charge that was dismissed was 1 count of possession of a weapon by a previous offender. And actually, according to 9news.com, I do have the exact charges here. So he was convicted of 2 counts of second-degree murder, which is the lesser charge, 2 counts of first-degree murder, which is felony murder, 2 counts aggravated robbery, second-degree arson, aggravated motor vehicle theft used for crime, aggravated motor vehicle theft, aggravated motor vehicle theft with property damage, theft of money, and bait advertising. District Attorney John Keller expressed, quote, this cowardly act of violence leaves 5 children without their parents. The bedtime stories never read. Words just can't describe what this killer took away. During sentencing, Chief Deputy District Attorney Garrick Storgard said, quote, this defendant's greed left 5 children in an unimaginable position of having to grow up without parents. He deserves to spend every second of every year behind bars for what he did to Joe and Jocelyn Rowland. Kyree Brown was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Damn, 2 I guess 1 for each person. Quote, while no sentence will bring back these 2 loving parents, this life sentence ensures that the defendant will never have the ability to hurt another innocent person or family. I hope the Rowland family can find some peace and closure now that justice has been served. So if you ever have to buy something online, make sure you try and take as many safety precautions as you can. That doesn't necessarily mean that something won't happen to you because you never know who you're meeting. But you should try and meet in a public place. Don't ever follow them to another place. Just stay in a public place. If they don't have whatever it is, just cancel it and just leave. Bring a friend or a bunch and somebody who's strong and tall and big and who scares people just by the sight of them. Trust your instincts. Verify the seller's information before you meet with them and tell everybody where you're going. The best thing is just live stream where you are. There. Brittany Sutherland, a family friend, says, quote, no amount of money can replace what they've lost, but maybe we can pull together and provide some financial security for them. Diane Sawyer Law Firm, where Jocelyn was the firm administrator, wrote on their website as a tribute to her, quote, Jocelyn Rowland, the firm administration, firm mom, and superhero, tragically passed away. Jocelyn was not only the world's best firm administrator, but she was also my friend and right hand. She was my go-to and confidant. She will be missed tremendously by me, the firm, and by all who had the pleasure of knowing her. Finally, Madison Rowland, the couple's oldest daughter, said, quote, my parents were and always will be the 2 most giving, compassionate, helpful, kind, and selfless people I've ever met. We will never get to experience anything as a family ever again. So what do you think about this case? Do you think 2 life sentences served consecutively without the possibility of parole is too harsh, or do you think that was a fitting sentence? I'll post this poll out for Spotify. And if you don't go to Spotify, you can leave a comment in the comments below. If you think this sentence was too harsh, then leave a thumbs down emoji. If you think it was just the right sentence, then leave a thumbs up emoji. Personally, I have a feeling he was going to do this again and again and again. He did that. He listed the car way too quickly after this murder, so it looks like it didn't even affect him. He was ready to do it again. So I don't have an opinion on whether the sentences were too harsh or not. I just want to hear from you. But I do fully believe he would have done this over and over and over and over and over again. So that's what I think. So speaking of poll, let's go to last week's true crime poll that I had out. Last week's true crime was about a DC man who murdered his girlfriend after she murdered their son and placed his body in the trash. Remember the episode of Carl B. Jones. So the poll question I had out is, if you were part of the jury, would you have found him guilty or not guilty? And 75% of you said you would have found him guilty. And 25% of you said you would have found him not guilty. My thing with that is, I would have found him not guilty if he had gone to the house without a knife. Because he came to the house, he already had a knife, and he said he came to talk. But you came to talk with a knife in your hand? So if you came without a knife, you are talking to her, asking her why she did this to your newborn son, and then whatever, based on her answer, y'all started arguing, and then you grabbed a knife, and I could see the temporary insanity in that. She murdered your newborn son and then threw him away in the trash, and nobody could find his body. To this day, nobody knows where his body is. I could see the temporary insanity in that. However, you went to her house with a knife. So to me, that seems premeditated. So that's the reason I would have found him guilty. So I agree with the majority vote. So that's all I have for you for today's True Crime Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow for your midweek Wednesday rant. Don't forget, if you have a news story you want me to rant about, go ahead and send it to me. You can go to the website, murderandlove.com. On that website, you can either send me a message or you can fill out the case request form. So that's all for today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.